Arthur Conan Doyle's writings, including his Sherlock Holmes stories such as The Sign of Four, reflect the prevailing attitudes of his time, which were deeply influenced by British colonialism and orientalist perspectives. Many modern critics argue that some of his depictions of India and its culture employ stereotypes and exoticisms common to Victorian literature. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, British literature often portrayed non-Western cultures, including those in India, in ways that emphasized difference and exoticism. These portrayals were part of a broader Orientalist framework, where Indian societies were frequently depicted as mysterious, backward, or fundamentally other. As a product of his time, Conan Doyle's work sometimes reflects the assumptions and biases that accompanied British colonial rule. While his stories rarely present a fully negative or malicious view of Hindu characters, the lens through which Indian culture is depicted can come off as stereotypical or patronizing by modern standards. Conan Doyle's work, The Sign of Four. In this story, elements drawn from India are used to construct a mysterious and exotic backdrop. The narrative involves a secret pact and treasures linked to colonial India, and the way Indian characters and cultural references are presented can be seen as leaning on Orientalist tropes. Critics have pointed out that such portrayals rely on the exoticization of Indian elements rather than offering nuanced, fully developed characterizations. It's important to note that while certain descriptions and narrative choices may appear negative or reductive today, Conan Doyle's work does not necessarily aim to malign Hindu culture outright. Rather, it echoes the common literary conventions and assumptions of its era. The portrayals are more symptomatic of the broader colonial mindset than of a deliberate intent to denigrate Hindus specifically. Contemporary literary critics and historians tend to view these depictions within the context of Orientalist literature. They acknowledge that while the portrayals are problematic by modern standards, they are part of a larger pattern found in many works of the time. The question of whether Conan Doyle portrayed Hindus negatively is subject to interpretation. Some argue that the stereotypes and cultural simplifications inherent in his work do contribute to a negative image, while others suggest that his treatment of Indian elements was typical of a genre and period that did not prioritize accurate or respectful cultural representation. In summary, Arthur Conan Doyle's stories do include portrayals of India and its cultural elements that many modern readers and critics interpret as negative or stereotypical. However, these portrayals are best understood as a reflection of the Orientalist and colonial attitudes that permeated much of the literature of his time, rather than as a targeted or consistently hostile depiction of Hindus. Modern criticism often uses his work as a case study in how literary conventions can both reflect and reinforce cultural prejudices. This nuanced understanding recognizes the historical context while also acknowledging why many contemporary readers find these portrayals problematic.